All right, so grapevine update, grapevine in pot update. It's been in here now, probably about a month and a half or so by now. I believe I did an update, or my first video on this grapevine was a couple weeks ago. And I've come to the conclusion that I need to get the grapevine in the ground if I really want it to make any type of progress for me. It's alive, as you can see. It looks healthy, but I just feel like the rate at which it is progressing is extremely slow. I don't think I'm just being impatient, although that could certainly be the case, but I've just come to the conclusion that I don't do well with trying to grow things in pots. Case in point, look at my squash. So I water it on the regular, I've provided fertilizer, and this is what I'm getting. I mean, it's not producing males at all. And for the one that I was able to fertilize, I just hand pollinated it weeks ago. See that curled one there? It hasn't grown since. So I don't know if I'm using the wrong potting soil. I don't know. And you know, the pot's not huge. It's probably about, I don't know, 5-7 gallons maybe. But the plant's not, it looks healthy, right? Does it look healthy? I mean, I don't know what's going on. But I've just also realized, so I'll go over here. Excuse the mess, I really need to go through and clean up my area here. But I have this here. So this is, I believe it's a Jenny melon. Basically, it looks like it's gonna be like a peach size, personal size cantaloupe type of fruit when all is said and done. And so when I planted this seedling in this pot here, I also put one in the ground just to see, you know, I put one in a couple places because it was just like, you know, I just want to, is it going to come up, right? So look at this in the pot versus the one that I put in the ground. So direct sown, this one. And I sowed them on the same day. So as you can see, the things that I planted that in the ground, it's doing better than the one in the pot. So I feel the same way about the grapevine. I just haven't quite decided where to place it yet. I have dogs back here. And I don't expect grapes this year anyway, but obviously if I'm putting in the ground, that's something I would consider to be a permanent situation. So I need to figure out how to keep the animals away from it. And I was kind of considering putting it in my front yard. I just don't know yet, but it needs to come out of that pot, I feel like, if I want it to make any type of real progress. So that's the grapevine update for now. I have quite a few other plants here, as you can see. Cucumbers. This is a honeydew in this cage here, which the cucumbers are latching onto the tomato cage rather than the net that I have placed here for them. So I'm just kind of letting everything do what it wants to do right now. I consider myself sort of, I guess I would be like a chaos gardener. I'd like to be a little more organized, but maybe next year. I've put some flowers down. There's a marigold there. Got my dill going there. I think by the time I have cucumbers, I don't know what the life cycle of dill is, but as you can see, it's already flowering. So will I have any dill for my pickling? I don't know. I've not had a lot of success trying to plant dill. There's one that I actually sowed myself. But these two bigger dill plants I got from a nursery, and I just put them in the ground. So this is my year of learning. It's my first year planting dill, first year planting cucumbers. Some more pretty little flowers there. As you can see, they only open up in the mornings. They have succulent type leaves. So, but they're doing really well there. There's right next to that is oregano, and then there's some rosemary. And my lavender's not doing so great. The coriander / cilantro has already bolted. I just put it in the ground anyway, so it can drop seeds and pop up next year, next spring. I think it's more of a cool weather plant, or maybe I should have left it in a pot. I don't know, but maybe my next video will be a garden tour, and perhaps I'll do that in the evening when it's cooler out. I can't even really see my screen all that well right now. My okra, as you can see, there's flowering. All of my okra is producing right now. I have a couple smaller plants that I direct sowed. Those are white velvet okras. So that'll be interesting, I think, to see how that variety turns out. But okra is one of my favorite things to grow. I grew it last year, and it just feels like a plant that you just can't go wrong on. If you fail at everything else, grow some okra, you know. So yeah, I will do a garden tour soon. I've kind of let the weeds get out of control. I didn't really put up any borders, so, but I'm happy enough, I should say, with the way things are going. I will actually, it looks like, have some tomatoes this year. I got to taste my first cherry tomato. I have a midnight snack tomato down there that finally the fruit blushed the other day, and it got red and ripe enough that I could pull one off and eat it, and it was delicious. So these other fruits, this one especially here is pretty loaded, leaning overloaded. As you can see, I have one that's starting to turn, but I tell you what, those fruits have been sitting on there for a month and a half at least, just hanging out. So from what I understand, it's gotten hot. First it was just raining all the time, and it was actually a very cool spring for us. It's really only warmed up in the past week or so that it's now hitting 90 degrees during the daytime. So from what I understand, that means that the tomatoes are now going to stop fruiting, so, which they hadn't really gotten all that far yet in the first place. But like I said, I'll do a separate video on the tomatoes, because each one of these tomato plants, I think I have eight or nine plants out here. They're all different varieties, so I'll do a video on that at another time. So if you're here, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Have a great day.